Hey guys. Okay, so I haven't put up a video in a while, and that's because it got way too hot, and I would have died of heat stroke had I tried to film anything. But it's finally cooled off. I mean, it's in the upper 70s here right now, so it's really nice out. And well, I decided that today would be an excellent time to film a video on how to propagate strawberries using the runners, which is what you're seeing here in screen. This over here, this spiky thing, that was a strawberry plant. All of those spikes had ended in leaves, but a deer got in. I think it was a deer. I'm assuming it was a deer, judging by the rest of the damage that's in my garden. But I'm pretty sure it was a deer, and it ate off all the leaves, and it also ate off a bunch of the leaves off of the runners. But the runners themselves are fine, and a lot of them are ready to be transplanted over. Runners are super easy to transplant, especially off older plants, because the runners grow fast and thick. This one plant has given me about 27, I have 27 pots. Oops, would you stay in your little home? I have about 27 pots filled with strawberry runners, and they're pretty much all ready to be transplanted. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So today I'm going to, well, show you how to take them off the mother plant and plant them out. Okay, so I moved you guys in a little closer so that you could just see a couple of the runners in better detail. So you've got your mother plant over here, then you've got this leading to here. This is the runner, and then this is the new plant. Now you can, it will continue to go. As you can see, there are actually two more runners coming off this, which is not usual. Usually runners only do one more, continue on with one, but this one did two, but I'm not complaining because it gave me two plants. There's one over here that's out of frame, and then there's this one here, which is in frame. Okay, you got your runner, your plant, and then it'll keep going. I mean, I have chains of up to 4 runners coming off a single, 4 plants coming off of a single runner. And you can let it runner out like that all you want, or you can clip it at like 1 runner, or 1 plant per runner, or 2 plants per runner. But since this is like my last surviving strawberry plant, I wanted it to put out as much runners as possible so that I could get my strawberry population back up. What you have to do to get them off of the mother plant is you first have to let them establish themselves so that you know that they're strong enough to be transplanted. Now this one had 4 sets of leaves, but deer ate 3 of them. But I know it's large enough to be transplanted because if you lift it up and you look underneath, there's a bunch, I'll put down the scissors, there's a bunch of roots coming out the bottom of the pot. And that is how I know it's ready to be transplanted. And then this one, as you can see, it also had 3 leaves, because you've got this little stick here, this little stick over here. Both of those were leaves. And also, I can't really pick it up because the roots grew out of the bottom and then established themselves in the ground underneath. That is not a problem. If this happens to you, just kind of take the pot and gently pull it up, and you can see all of those roots. Don't worry, you didn't hurt the strawberry plant. These things are tough. And then there's this one that's out. I'm going to move this one back into frame. There's this one, and then it's actually got another one that I didn't get in a pot because I ran out of pots, but this one I can just plant, and it'll do just fine. Okay. I am going to leave it attached to this guy, though, until it establishes itself. Okay, so what you do to get them off the mother plant is you take scissors or like a knife, or you can even just pinch it off. I prefer using scissors. You go in, and you just cut the stem that leads from the mother plant in. And now you can leave this attached to the mother plant, or you can cut it off. Entirely up to you. And then what you're going to do is you now have all these pots on their own. Now, I'm going to cut them off of each other, so I'm just going to take the 2 runners that are coming off and snip them there, And I like to snip the runners off the side of both of the plants. It just looks neater that way. And voila, a brand new strawberry plant. And that is how you do it. I know it looks kind of sad because the deer got it, but it'll bounce back really quick once I have it planted. Okay. Here's a look at this one close up. And then, now it doesn't matter where you cut those stems off of. You can even leave them attached. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to leave that guy attached to him so that he'll continue to feed him until he gets well established in his new home. Alright, I'm actually going to now go through and clip off the rest of the runners. Let me do a little bit of a pan here so you can see just how many there are. There's tons of them. All through here. I mean, they're even snaking underneath my zucchini plant over here, which has a good looking zucchini on it. But you see all of those strands in there? Those are all strawberry runners. So, these things can produce a ton of them. I don't know how old this plant is. I think it's at least 4 or 5 years. So I should have ripped it out by now. Because you're only supposed to keep a mother plant for about 4 years, because that's their peak production time. After that, you should really replace them with new plants, or the runners, which is what I'm doing. This is the cheapest way to get strawberry plants, in case you're curious. Buy one plant, wait for it to send off runners, and you will have yourself thousands of plants within just a couple of years. Alright, I got a couple of them clipped off the mother plant. They're off the runners. They're independent plants now. And now I'm going to transplant them. Okay, but when you are planting strawberries, or any plant, there's always the 5 things that you need to look out for. Soil requirements, sun requirements, water requirements, what they need for fertilizer, and spacing. Okay, so for sun, strawberries like sun, full sun. Anywhere from in my experience, I've managed to grow strawberries in anywhere from 5 to 8 hours of sun, but I've noticed that the more sun you give them, the better they do. So try to give them at least 8 hours of sunlight, and they will be good for that. Strawberries like the sun. Soil requirements. Strawberries really like a really loose soil. They really like a really loose soil. A loose, kind of a sandy soil. This isn't very sandy, but strawberries do like it when it's sandier, but this will be just fine. As long as your soil is nice and real loose like this is, they will do just fine. Fertilizer. Strawberries are not super heavy feeders, but they're not super light feeders either. So when you're planting them, just mix a couple of handfuls. Just mix a handful of compost, or follow the directions on whatever fertilizer you're using. If you're using a container of it, just fertilize them every now and then, every couple of months, and they will do fine. They are perennials though, and you should really refertilize them every year. But once they're established, they won't need too much. So 3 to 4 times a year, I think would be good. Water requirements. Strawberries just like average water. They don't need a whole lot of it like watermelons do, but they're not super drought resistant. So about 1 inch of water a week, and I forget how much that is, but it's about a gallon, a little less than a gallon, I think. But not all at once. They like it spread out. They like it spread out during the week. So, water them a little bit. Make sure the soil is, damp or moist to the touch. Like this is, it'll hold its shape. You're like, this soil is perfect. See, if I pick it up, if I squeeze it, it kind of holds its shape. That's how you know it's got the right amount of moisture in it. And then for spacing. Now, if you're using Strawberries are not, like, super picky about spacing. If you plant them too close, together, they'll do fine. So I wouldn't worry too much about spacing. I mean, I wouldn't place them, like, right like that in the bed. That's way too close. I would put them anywhere from, 4 to 6 inches apart like that. 4 to 6 inches apart. If you're doing a square foot gardening, this is about a 2 foot by 2 foot chunk, and you want about 4 plants per square foot, so this would hold about 16 plants. And that is your spacing. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. Alright, and so now how to transplant them. So I'm doing square foot gardening. So, boom, that one would go there, that one would go there, that one would go over there, and I've got a bunch more over here, so like that one would go here. Although maybe this is only 1.5 feet, so I would probably only go 3 plants by about 4 plants. So this one will hold only about 12 plants. I stand correct. 12, not 16. I apologize. Okay, so what you're going to do to transplant them is really simple. You're going to dig out a hole. I'm just going to use my hand, even though I have a shovel here, because I don't care. It's a little bit of dirt. Just dig out a hole. It doesn't need to be too incredibly deep. You're going to take your plant. You're going to slide your finger over it. Slide your fingers so that it goes like in between so that you're not damaging any of the stems. Don't pull it out by the stem. Tip the container over. Give it a bit of a tap. It should slide right out just like that. Look at all them roots. Those roots look good, don't they? I hope this camera is focusing. I've never used this camera before. Okay, and so just like that, you're going to pop it into the hole, and then you're just going to put the dirt back in. And voila, you have planted a strawberry plant. Okay. Now there is one other part. There's one last thing that you need to be careful of when you're transplanting strawberries. Ooh, yeah, that one was root bound. Definitely time to transplant him. Just going to loosen up those roots a little bit. Okay. Now, do you see this part here that all of the leaves are coming out of? That's the crown. Do not bury the crown. If you bury the crown... Ooh, that's a better view of it. If you bury that... Are you focusing at all, camera? Focus? 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 Is it focusing? I hope it's focusing. But do not bury this. If you bury that, it will rot and the plant will die. So you want to be real careful about that. Okay, and just like that. And there you go. And that is how you transplant strawberries from runners. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of them in, and I'll show you what the beds look like when I'm done. Okay, so I'm not quite done planning it out yet, but I did realize that I forgot to mention one thing. You guys are probably wondering how I'm planting out the runners that look like this, the ones that weren't in pots and just kind of laying around and had the roots out, but were big enough to transplant, but aren't in a pot to move over. Well, it's really quite simple. Same basic process. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do it. So you're going to take your pot with the runner hanging off of it. Voila, voila, pot, runner. Going to dig your hole just like you did for all the other ones. You're going to take it. You're just going to do the exact same thing. Slide your fingers over it. Tap, slide it out, voila. And now you have this and this. So you're just going to plant this like normal. Just put it in the dirt. Cover it up with the dirt. Make sure the crown is exposed. That half is now planted. That's entirely out of frame. God damn it. Okay, that half is planted. That's what I did. That's what I was doing off frame. I'm sorry. And now for this bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your fingers. You're going to poke a little hole in the dirt. Little hole to put those roots in. You're going to slide the roots in. And then you're just going to cover it all. And then you're going to cover the roots up while taking real good care not to cover up the crown. You're going to just firm it in place, and voila. Now the runner is planted as well. And that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do for all the ones that have, you know, healthy plants that are attached but don't have a pot that they're in. That's basically all you do. Okay, I'm going to go back to planting it out. I just wanted to show you guys that because I realized I forgot to mention it. And I'll show you when I'm all done. Alrighty, see you in a few minutes. Alrighty, and there you have it. All of them, all of the strawberry runners that I had are now planted. And it totaled out to, gosh darn it, I just counted it and I forgot it already. Okay, 12, 18, 12, 15, that's 30, that's 30, that's 36 so far. And I still have space for another 6, so I'm just waiting for a couple of more runners to become large enough to transplant, and when I do, I will have 42 total in the bed here. Now I realize that this is only a 12 bed, but if you look, there's actually quite a bit more. It goes all the way over there. That's another 12. That one holds 18, and of course this is the original one that I showed that also held 12. Okay, so I got them all in. And now for the final part. I got them watered. I watered them in real well. And now for the final step. This is optional, but I highly suggest you do it. Hello, doggy. There's a doggy. Hello, Phoebe. And the final step is just mulch around them. Just mulch around all of your strawberry plants. Light layer of mulch. That'll help you with watering needs so that you don't have to water as much and all that fun stuff. This is just grass mulch that I had sitting around in a pile and it dried out. And don't be afraid to mulch over the runner, the strands that connect the plants on the runners. I don't know if they actually have a name or anything. Don't be afraid to mulch over those. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. Come on, perk up. He'll perk up. He's just a little, oh my god, from the transplanting. Okay, so just take handfuls of mulch, get them in, spread it around a bit, nice thin layer. Doesn't have to be super thick, because the mulch will help with water retention, and it will also keep the crowns of the strawberries warmer during the winter months, so that they don't die, so that they're not like iced over and they die, and all of that not fun stuff. And it also keeps them cooler in the summer so that they don't bake. And like I said before, it also helps with water retention. And also the mulch, as it breaks down, will add more nutrients to the soil, leading to less fertilization needs as time goes on. And there you have it. And that's what your bed should look like. I know it looks kind of messy, but as the strawberries grow in, it'll look better and better with every passing week. Alrighty, and there you have it. I'm gonna brush off the edge of the beds here to make it look a little cleaner. Come on, there you go. And there you have it. And that is how you transplant strawberries from the runner. Alright, well, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the box below. If you like this sort of thing, or if you learned anything, again, leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Please do. But if you don't like what you saw and you learned nothing, then okay. Well, until next video. Bye, guys.